After weather stormed through Norman and a few schedule adjustments, the rain has cleared and we are going to get some Friday night lights here at Loves Field as the Oklahoma Sooners are set to take on the University of Central Florida Knights on what has been an exciting night as it is OU Alumni Night here in Norman.
Some of the challenging parts of this game, but I'm excited to see them really work through this.
Agbayani gloves it, throws, going to take Sydney Sanders off the bag just a bit. And Humphreys is aboard for the Knights. And
if you've got to attack early, you've got to make these pitchers work, but you've got to take advantage of those first pitch strikes.
Ground ball is going to take Landry, and she will do the glove flip for the first out of the inning. Up and down the lineup, Aubrey Evans, the junior, stands in 7 for 7 in stolen bases this season. It's that ground ball. It's going to eat Garcia up in the hole, and Evans is aboard. And just like that, here in the first, Central Florida using the dirt. Yep, and that'll bring up the ever-dangerous Beth Damon. This ground ball, Landry thinks about third, but she's going to go ahead and get the lead out, and let's roll a pair as the Sooners use the defense to work out of a jam here in the first inning. We're scoreless after a pair of UCF hits. And Oklahoma showing a little pitcher defense. Why not roll a pair? And you mentioned it, Destiny. Does not have that overpowering velocity as this pitch is skied high in foul territory, but going to be taken care of for the first out of the inning. Some big wins, 35 overall in the RPI. So this pitch is going to stay fair, and Macaron Marinas is aboard with a one-out hit.
And Coach Gasso talked a little bit about what she wants to see today, and it's more mature conversation. She wants them talking about their offensive decisions.
And the hit streak continues for Cassidy Pickering as she takes the 2-strike pitch and lines. And the 2-2 swung straight through, and big out by Vega to sit down Gabby Garcia with a runner in scoring position and 2 outs for them. It's a sky high on the infield. Humphreys is underneath it. And the Knights work themselves out of a jam as both teams in the first inning leave.
Putting them in atmospheres to kind of challenge them, just like here at Loves Field, playing at Florida. She wants her athletes to have those experiences and grow from it.
Busy day for Landry so far in the circle, even if you throw 78. It's the 2-2 to Kotzelnick. Little check swing, and that will be called a foul ball. As Kotzelnick is making her way down to first base, but I have a feeling there's going to be a conversation.
Yeah, I think she definitely went for the swing there. I think all the athletes are calling it, and Coach Gasso's come out. Yep.
And you could see on the and just like that, it looks like Kotzelnick is going to be called back, and looks like a foul ball.
Yeah, you can see she kind of went in for that swing.
Now, the call is actually going to be that it hit her on the hands, and on the swing, strike 3. And watching it again, it actually caught the hands as this pitch is going to loop in for a 2-out single as Ashley Griffin is aboard.
Griffin doing a really good, keep it going, or you've got to start something just right before it gets turned back over. That 9-hole kind of has that same role.
And Kittleman will be sat down for the 3rd out of the inning.
She's just looking for a lot more aggressiveness, and she said, you know, a lot more communication on your hitting approach and what you're seeing from these pitchers. She just wants to see the little things and a lot more aggressiveness.
Sydney Sanders
bunts down. She's a great execution.
And speaking of unbelievable bunts, there's going to be a great play by Beth Damon popping out behind the plate as Agbayani has been called. with the verdict.
After review, the first baseman was off the bag. The runner safe. The call is changed.
The third base coach is back in game 1 last night, but good opportunity here for the Sooners to put some runners in motion, Destiny, you think? And don't need runners in motion when you have a line shot to left field. Sydney Sanders will score. And we've got Agbayani hung up in between third and home, and Agbayani will be tagged out, and good base running by Emmerling, standing on third base.
Oh yeah, that was amazing base running. I love the aggressiveness to get herself to third. I think understanding Agbayani's situation, her job is to stay in that rundown and try to win that battle. Agbayani's got to try to get out of that. If she doesn't, Emmerling understood the assignment, and that was to get herself to third so that they're in the same situation with an opportunity to score again.
And UCF finding a way to get an out.
Reading that ball, you've got to take that first step back.
This is popped up on the infield. Griffin will glove it for out number 2 to bring up Hannah Core in the 9 slot.
She's averaging right around 60, 61, but to take some of that off is tough as a hitter. We're seeing a lot of pop-ups just because it's so tough to wait.
And she'll take off with the pitch and get hung up in a rundown in between second and third, as Emmerling will score easily. And the Sooners wreaking some havoc on the base paths to manufacture a run.
I mean, that was a really good job. I think just doing.
Sooners put up a pair of runs in the second to take the lead and did it all with some havoc on the base paths.
Abigail Dayton doing exactly what she's supposed to do in a first and third offensive play. That is what you want to see. You want to see the throw drawn, get yourself in a rundown, allow Emmerling to score. You've got to stay in the rundown long enough for that run to cross the plate. She accepted the out. She And
Landry pulls the string to sit Simon down, her third strikeout on the day.
Understand that Sam Landry's goal is to get ahead of the count. So you're going to see a good pitch, probably first pitch. You've got to be ready to attack, or else you're going to have to figure out the balance.
Last week, or a week and a half ago, is going to be cut off by Macaro Marinas, and the Sooners retire the side for the first time in this ball game. As we head to the bottom of the third, 2-3-4 duo.
I do love that Nelly McEnroe-Morenas was standing on second base just in case.
Even better, right? Those are the little things. But either way, Macaro-Morenas is aboard to start the third, and back-to-back innings where the Sooners have drawn a leadoff walk regardless of who's in the circle. 3-1, another line drive to the left side. Macaro-Morenas will be held at second base and call it a 2-for-2 day so far for Pickering. Wanting to see that moment of getting things done and talk about execution as Gabby Garcia lays down a beauty to third base. No play at first, and that'll load him up for Ella Parker. Just an act of gotten her out. Struggled a bit. March into April, just 136 as this pitch is launched to left field, and talk about coming out of a slump in a big way. Call it a grand slam for Ella Parker. And the Sooner fans are on their feet, and Ella Parker rising to the occasion.
That is exactly what she needed. I think that spark, that moment, that opportunity for her to see that pitch and send it completely out, that was no question. That is something that gives you your spark back.
Destiny, this pitch,
belt high pitch. I mean, that is a pitch that you can't really afford to throw to a hitter like Ella Parker. But I mean, seeing that ball out, that is what she needed. That is the spark.
Leaf of the freshman Isabella Vega, and Sydney Sanders, and what she believed to be ball 4, low and away, will be called out looking for the first out of the inning.
Which is just like we saw Sydney Sanders strike out on, is where you've got to stay.
That pitch gets away from Elkins, and Agbayani will be aboard via the hit by pitch.
You don't give up. You continue to push through each inning, take it one pitch at a time.
Speaking of one pitch at a time, Emmerling is sat down.
When you're playing against Florida, at Florida, you have nothing to lose.
And the 2-strike pitch is going to loop into right field, and Hannah Core, a little bit of 2-out hitting.
That means for the Sooners is that there's not a lot of scouting reports on her.
Both runners take off. Agbayani is thrown out at third base. And Coach Gasso having a bit of a conversation, but the double steal here tonight on an infield single as this pitch is popped up, and if it stays in, it'll play, and Emmerling making the catch next to the net for the first out of the inning. As Landry set to fire the 1-0. And this is struck well to center field, but Hannah Core underneath it, and 2 quick outs for Sam Landry to start the 4th inning.
Sam Landry only 44, because just as I said earlier, you want to attack early because you don't want to get her to that point. But now if she's throwing it first pitch, that's even harder.
And back-to-back off-speed pitches retires Mertes on the year, and the freshman getting some spot starts from time to time early. This ball is grounded to Evans, and Evans will throw her out on the run for the first out.
I think that's a testament to applying pressure on the defense can also win you ball games. Make them make a play. Execute your bunts.
3-2 just misses outside. Base running.
Yeah. No, base running is such a unique tool that's needed to pick up on.
1-2 to line right back up the middle. Here comes McEnroe Morenas, and she will be held up. And in a situation that was oh so familiar, she fires the payoff pitch and misses low and away. And I say low and away on the delayed call. And right before I was getting ready to say on a pitch that has been called a strike all game.
Wow. It's that corner. And she's got some timely hits.
And speaking of timely plays, Aubrey Evans. This game right now, again, a good cushion for Oklahoma, but of UCF's 16 losses this year is this high hopper right back to Landry. And that's a good spot to be, as the first pitch is looped straight at Agbayani, and 2 quick outs for Landry. But of their 16 losses, 12 have been by 2 runs or less. Lowry looking to shut out the 5th inning, and she'll do just that. Swing and a miss. And she'll sit down Yarnell. Sooners on top 6-zip as we go to the bottom of the 5th. See the delivery, like you said, Destiny, that low start as that rise ball climbs the zone. And another thing that makes a rise ball a little bit tough is when you are seeing that release point from a low angle. And to do something that no UCF pitcher has done here tonight and sit the Sooners down in order. 3-2 rounded to second base, and 2 quick outs. Close, as you mentioned, Destiny. Felton with the most, and that's going to get straight through into right field as Hannah Core breaks up the 1-2-3 inning. The single makes its way past down into the 40s. Quite yet. in Norman as this ball is laced. And talk about another tremendous play by Aubrey Evans. Aubrey Evans keeping runs off the board.
What is the pitch doing? What are the mechanics to look for?
By Hopper Dog, Bayani, and Simon will be sat down.
You just hear those different types.
You've got a pair of seniors, so just a lot of youth as this ball is struck well and at the warning track. But Hannah Kaur will make the catch as Humphreys. Lowry. And fires, and Hannah Kaur making the catch in center field, and Lowry will retire the side here in the sixth. And something that has kind of been a little bit of an issue as this ball is launched into the right center field gap. Nellie McEnroe-Marinas is on her horse, and she will have a stand-up double to start the sixth inning. And talking about 6 triples for UCF, 7 for Oklahoma. As Aubrey Evans fires it across to throw out Cassidy Pickering, and Aubrey Evans has made some tremendous plays to end inning. Who knows anything about softball? This is a game of momentum. As the 2-2 is called third strike, and you can see Gabby Garcia not happy about the call, but 2 strikes and runners left on base for the Sooners. This pitch is laced right at Aubrey Evans, who has had a busy night, but man, has she been good. And Lopez works around a leadoff double. 2 RBI double from Isabella Emmerling was all it has taken from the Sooners to make it 6-0, as Lowry making quick work of Aubrey Evans for the first out of the inning.
Was 3 for 21, OU 11 for 26, but only 8 for 18. And leaving runners on.
And this evening, the 1-2, swing and a miss. And that's gonna do it. Sooners improve to 34-3 on the year as they take down the University of Central Florida 6-0. And 2 familiar teams, and Sooners able to really kind of dominate this game start to finish.
Yeah, I thought the Sooners looked great. I think they did a great job in the circle, great job offensively, great job on defense. I will tip my cap to this UCF defense. They performed really well. They looked great in the circle, got themselves out of a couple binds, and I think that's what you want to see from your team if you're Cindy Ball Malone. And, you know, there were a couple free passes that they awarded the Sooners, and the Sooners made them pay. But I think overall, both teams look pretty good out there.
One swing of the bat, and that was the difference maker.